Alright, this is how I rotate my unidirectional tires that are square stanced on a Tesla with all-wheel drive. Ours is the Performance, so I get it up on the stands first because our car is lowered and the QuickJack can't fit under there. Now that I got them up on the stand, I got quite a bit of ground clearance now to stick my QuickJacks underneath, and I have to even use the extenders, so that adds another 1.5 inches on top of the height because I have the BL5000. And then I get these QuickJack, the BL5000 series, and then I got the extension so I can slip it underneath the car. Got the hoses on and the electric pump, which I have 110 or 120 outlet for. So I also need to use the pucks by Tesla to install them. That's what I do. Show you an example. See if you can actually pick it up where it's located. I usually go by feel. That's right here. See, there's a little hole right there. So I take that puck. Of course I feel it because I'm not looking at the camera per se. And then you just stick it just like that. And then you have a block you put here and it presses against that. What I would do is grab one of the thinner blocks because I don't need them as tall. These are like taller ones I have. And then you just grab a couple of these blocks. And so I'll stick one here, and I will stick one here, so that will be picked up by that puck over there, as you can see now hanging. So that's what I'm going to do. Slip it under the car, make sure it's all lined up, and then lift the car, the controller, up, down. Alright, this is the fun part. After you set it up, you got it all aligned on the pucks. I went ahead and lightly loosened the nuts first by hand, but I could use my impact, but I just don't want to round the nuts by doing that. So let's go ahead, grab our controller here, and raise this baby up. You just want to watch to see if everything is aligned properly. See, you hit that one point. I only need it raised to the first section, so I just lower it down. So when it's on first section, I kind of hold it 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. Just kind of bleed that line out a little bit, so it's easy to pop off the fittings. See if I can do this one-handedly. You can, but it's, you have to align the where's that metal ball? See, there's the metal ball right there. You align that mouth with the ball. See, if it's not aligned, you can't pull it apart. But when you aligned that ball right there, then it should be able to pop off now. But see, sometimes you need two hands to do this. I'm always filming with a single hand. Okay. I'm never perfectly prepared for this. Here, let's see if I can show you guys this. See, there's the fitting. Go like that. See? I let go, push up, then this thing comes off. That's it. So I put the lid back on, move it aside, and then you can put the lid back on this and move it aside so you don't mar or dent or scratch the tip. Highly suggested. And if they wear out, you can get some more from QuickJack. But I've had mine for quite some time, for many, many years, and they're still good, so they're using some really good quality plastic. So of course, before you disconnect them, I didn't show, but everything should be rock solid on there. Since they're this age, I do grab some jack stands, and I go ahead and I slip it under here, right at this point. So if the thing was to collapse, it'd collapse right on top of that jack and not just collapse on itself. Has it ever done it? Absolutely not. I've had this for many, many years now and been using it for quite some time. I do the same on this side as well. This is, I guess you can call this security. But yeah, so if the thing does articulate down, it lands right on that. So after I put all those off to the side, you can see what's cool is you can move these things out of the way, you know, so they're not in the way. Actually, let me move this. If you want to really work on your space, you can move the cables out of the way. Then the hoses you disconnect, you can absolutely move out of the way so they're not in your workspace. Same with this side. You can fast forward that, but I just moved that stuff out of the way so you have an open, clean workspace. You can go under the car. You can use, sometimes I use my crawler. I have my crawler right there to go ahead and do that. So afterwards, I just rotate the tires at this point. So I've done this in a short before, but since my tires are unidirectional, that means the tire can be flipped and used on the other side of the car as well as over here. It doesn't require just one direction going that way. You can flip it around and go on the other direction. We did this for longevity, but also we got the performance ones from the Bridgestone Potenza Sports we have. But so what we do here on all-wheel drive cars, I've been doing this every 5,000 miles, getting great wear life, about 30,000 miles for these performance tires, is the fronts go from front left to rear right. The fronts go front right to the rear left. Then you thrust both these rear tires forward. So this one's going to there. This one's going to there. That tire, that front tire, is going to here. That tire, that front tire, is going to walk all the way to here. And that's how it goes. So I'm just going to go ahead and get my impact tool and get started. You guys seen this many times. If you have an impact tool, it makes life easier, but if you need to do it by hand, you do it by hand. That's what I used to do until, you know, this just saves time. I do like the manual labor, but, you know, sometimes you got time, you need to work on stuff. There you go. There's one. Two. And then I just do that, take all the tires. What I do, though, also is I inspect our suspension because our suspension is aftermarket. And then I inspect the brakes and stuff like that because the Tesla with one pedal drive, you hardly use the brakes or the brake pads. And then it'll be done pretty soon. Okay, some folks are visual. I'm a visual person too. I could just ramble all along. So again, I took off this rear and I'm moving it to the front. Both rears are going to the front. And then I took that front and I moved it over to this side because why? Because I want to put it onto here. Now I just took off this front passenger side, and I'm going to cross it over and prepare it to the rear side. Of course, some people think it's just movie magic when sometimes you clip and cut. But this is what I do. Just go here. I set the tire on that side, so I know this needs to go to here. That needs to go to there now. Now I just have one more to take off. This rear one is going to go to the front. But afterwards, I'm going to inspect the brakes and, like I said, the suspension and all that components, make sure it's good. Because since we run that aftermarket life, I got to make sure everything is buttoned down and tightened up. I do this every 5,000 miles. You can see the two-piece rotors, they help a lot. Make the car feel absolutely light. Well, feels incredibly light already with these tires. If you've seen my other videos, you know how much lighter those forged wheels are than the factories. Skinnier, but way heavier. So I'm just going to get that done and see if this helps you guys. All right, after like a half an hour of inspecting and checking on the suspension, the brakes and stuff, the pads are incredibly a lot of life left. And now I'm just going to go ahead and lower the car. I went ahead and spun on the nuts. First you hand tighten them on there, you know, just kind of hand turn them on there, make sure they're on the threads. You can ask me how I know. Replace one of those is not fun. So I went ahead and spun those all on. They're all on. And now I'm going to have to lower this, and you can tell this thing has a little locking hinge right there. So you gotta lift it up a little bit more, then lift this up. So then this piece can glide across here. I'll show you in a bit. We're gonna go up a little bit more. I'm gonna raise this up. I might as well see if I can show it right here. I'm gonna raise this up. See, a little bit, that's all you need. So you can do this. See, now this thing can glide over and come down. So I do this side as well. See? See? Now this thing is pointing and not locked. So it won't lock on that hook right there at that end there. See that pointy hook? It won't hook onto that spot. So you put it like this, so you can just glide over. Then you can go ahead and lower the vehicle down gently. Make sure they're on the wheels, of course, because I want to be able to drive the car. It's going to make a lot of noises and all that fun stuff. And I go 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000. This is so all the lines are clear of all that tension from the hydraulic fluid. And then you can just pop that off. And I'm going to go ahead after I'm done. We're just going to torque it down to whatever the manufacturer is, what, 120 foot-pounds of torque. And that should be done. And hope that was useful for anyone who's rotating their tires. That has, a lot of people have unidirectional tires, you know, for those all season, but we have performance unidirectionals, and they're square stance, so you can do that. We never wanted directional because you can only go front to rear, rear to front. It doesn't wear as even as when you can go cross pattern and go around. You get more life that way on tires, as long as your alignment is on point. Anyways, thanks for watching.